So in this session, we're going to be going over the GRI Connect portal, which is just launching today. I'm just looking at who I see here. And I think most people are family members. Actually, maybe I'll just ask because there's a couple people I don't know. So I'm going to try to create a poll. Actually, maybe I'll just ask in the chat because the amazing thing, the exciting thing I think about GRI Connect is we've built it so that it's a different experience for families and for researchers and clinicians. So families can kind of have their private area, researchers and clinicians can have their private area, but then there's also the ability for everybody to interact together. So in the chat, can you tell me if you are a family member or a researcher or a clinician? It's going to help for the demo. So I'm not seeing I'm not seeing anything in the chat yet, but I'll just, you know what, we'll go ahead. So Jan is a family member. Thank you. You know what, we'll go ahead and start with the family version. Bernie's a family member. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and start with what it will look like for a family member and then what it's going to look like for a researcher. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so you should be seeing it now. So this is what you see when you go to the GRI Connect page. When you go there for the first time, you're going to see something here that will allow you either to create an account or to log in. So the first thing you're going to do is create an account. We want to make sure that this is a place just for people in the GRI community. So GRIN, GRIA, GRIC, families, researchers, and clinicians. So it's going to take some time for us to approve you. We're going to try to do it as quickly as we can, but it could take up to a day just for us to make sure that you're the right person to join. And then we'll send you an email when you get approved. So then you'll come back, you'll register, you'll use the same email and password that you used, and then you can click continue or you'll log in or click continue to the community if you're already logged in. So this is kind of the main page that you're going to see when you log in. And there's a lot here. So I'm going to kind of take you through it. One of the first things that's good to do when you join is up in the upper left-hand corner, there's Take Community Tour. So we've built a little tour that'll show you some of the features that I'm going to show you today, but that's a good way to just go and get a refresher. Now, I'm actually going to stop sharing this screen and share another version because I realized that I just logged in to my admin version. So what I see as an admin, it's showing me both what is there for families and what's there for researchers. So it's going to look a little bit different. So here now is, no, okay. Let me log out. Okay, so back on again. So you'll see that this is actually my wife Laura's account. So you're not supposed to share accounts, but I'm doing it just for the demo so that you can see what it'll look like when you sign in as a family member. So everything's going to look the same, but there's just going to be some differences in terms of what you have access to. So let me take you through basically this page first. So you'll see this middle section is a news feed. So it's a lot like what you might see when you log into Facebook for the first time. So what family members are going to see here is different from what researchers are going to see. So there's basically everything that you post on this forum is going to fall into one of three categories. So content that anyone in the community can see, content that only family members can see, or content that researchers and clinicians can see. So everything that's here is going to be either something that, because I'm logged in as a family member, something that's open to family members or something that's open to everyone. So if a researcher logs in, there's going to be stuff here that they're not going to see. Also on the community page, I mentioned the tour already. We have groups that you can join. So this is showing what group that Laura is part of. We launched a beta launch of this website a couple of weeks ago. So she's in that beta testers group. You can bookmark posts that you see and want to refer back to if someone's shared something that's relevant. Just a trending tags feature up here, and some events that are coming up are here. So this top one is, you can see it's live. I guess that's what that icon means. I haven't seen that before. And so, yeah, so that's basically the overview of what you can do in the newsfeed. Now, one thing to mention, you have the ability up here, it says to start a post. And so you can post something in there that everyone in the community is going to see. You actually have two options. You can post it only to people that you're friends with. So just like on Facebook, you can have a mutually agreed upon friend. You can invite someone and they can accept it. Or you can post to everyone. We asked our technology partner that we're working with for the forums to turn that function off for us. They haven't been able to do that. And the main reason is just really because we're not able to segment that by families or researchers, but also because we feel like this is going to be a stronger community if things are really grouped into categories and people know where to find and conversations don't get lost. So even though you can do this, we're sort of discouraging people to do this for now. And we may come back, a moderator may come if you post something and say, hey, actually, would you mind deleting this from here and posting it in this other forum instead, because it's relevant to discussions that are going on there. So the kind of heart of the community is up here in the forums and groups sections. So forums are areas where basically we've created all kinds of different topics. And you'll see that we've tried to always make it really clear who this is open to. So about GRI Connect, Ask an Expert, drugs and supplements, these are open to all members. Where we have other forums, these are also all members. We also have other forums here. You'll see, for example, Family Chat by Gene, where we've built a page, a forum for every different one of the GRI genes, where the conversation is meant to be, or is only available to families. So researchers can't see what's going on in here. So we've tried to make that really clear by adding those posts there, but it's worth just making sure, especially, if you're sharing sensitive information about your kids that you may not want researchers to see, just keep aware of what's what. So we have the ability to really build this out into anything. And we've created some things to get us started. And we've been working with some of the beta users to add new areas. But about GRI Connect is basically, everything about the forum itself. So one of the first things that we suggest that you do is go to this section called Introductions, where everybody is introducing themselves to other members of the community. So I'll show you mine, where I've talked a little bit about myself, have put pictures of Bryson in there. And so it's a great thing for you to do when you log in. The forums also has, or in the About GRI Connect, we also have Welcome to GRI Connect. So far, we've built a frequently asked questions tab, but we'll be adding more there. But that is also a good place to start if you're not clear how to use the forums. We're trying to answer the questions there. And as we get more questions, we'll add to that. GRI Connect suggestions. So that's somewhere where any idea that you have about how to improve the forum, you can post it in here. We had a separate beta group, so I don't think we have anything here yet. But basically, you can add a topic, and this page is built a little differently, so you can vote up other people's ideas. And so the ideas that rise to the top are going to be the ones that we prioritize in improving the community. And then group requests is designed for if you have a group that you want us to build, and I'll show groups in a second, we'll do that. So one of the areas that I'll show you in groups is that we are creating a group for, and these are family-only groups, but for each different variant. So Lauren has asked if we could make a group for this GRIN 1 variant. And so she asked for it here. I said, yes, I've created it. I invited her to be the owner, and then she can get rid of me as the owner once, or I guess, get rid of me as an admin once that happens. So that's some of the things in the about GRI Connect. Ask an expert is an area where what we're trying to do is have one place where family members can ask questions of researchers and clinicians. So you can come in here, and so Jackie posted the first question and is asking about comorbidities and whether there's a connection between bipolar disorder and GRI mutations. So it's a GRIN 2A family. And this isn't a researcher, this is actually another family, but the family member had found some research or knew of some research and posted it here. And so what we're going to try to do is just ask our researchers and clinicians to come in and check these and respond. One researcher has suggested that we actually set up a schedule and have a different person each week who's sort of volunteering to be the one that'll check this thread once a day to see if there's new questions to respond to. But we've just got it kind of open for now. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll definitely be encouraging researchers and clinicians to join there. Drugs and supplements. So this is another one that's open to all members. And this is something that some families have asked for. They've really asked for an area where, all the information about a particular drug and families' experiences and researchers' knowledge and publications can all kind of be in one place. So memantine is a drug that we hear a lot about. There's probably more trials for memantine. It's all just on one patient, but there's been, I think, four different trials where memantine has been tried on gain-of-function patients. And so for each of these, Megan, our research coordinator, is writing up an overview, but really we want this to be a place where any family member can come and ask questions, share their experiences. Researchers can share their knowledge about the drugs as well. And so this is one where we've posted some of the more common ones or some of the ones that we know families are on. We're also, one obvious one that's missing. I know that people are asked a lot of questions about, and some kids are using is medical marijuana or CBD THC. So we'll be posting that one here, and kind of any other drugs that are worth discussing, or supplements, or even molecules that are being tested as drugs. We can build in here. So let me just go back and show you some of the other things that we've already built. And the reason only 3 show up at a time, and that's because this site was designed sort of mobile first. So there's not an app, but it works really well in mobile. But for some of that, the downside of some of that is that there's some things that we built to be great on your phone. So, it would be better probably for a desktop version if you could see a lot of these categories at a time without clicking through. But if we click to the next page, we've got a page here about the GRI conference. So we're thinking, this is a place where if you're going to the conference in Boston, maybe you can find a roommate. Maybe we can share news and information as speakers are confirmed. Different things we can do there. Published research. So we're going to try and start a thread on all of the research related to the different GRIs, and an off-topic board. So again, this is for all members, including researchers and clinicians, but anything that you want to post that's not really a GRIN topic, you can post in there. We've got an area for COVID and GRI, so talking about risk for GRIN kids, side effects for vaccines, what GRIN doctors recommend for GRI patients. We know that, or we expect that the vaccines are going to be approved for younger kids later this year. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions around that. Actually can't remember what this was. Okay, I think this is maybe something we had, and then we shifted things around. Let me just see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, so we've got some more family only areas. So family chat by topic. So just a few that we've built out so far. So being able to share your instones and milestones, like what your kids are doing that's new, epilepsy and seizures, food and digestion. So these are some of the family only topics. You saw before we have one for each of the GRI genes. Yeah, one about gain of function and loss of function. This is again for all members. And then one for just about when GRI is in the news or media, we can post updates there. So we'll always be adding to this. We'll always be trying to make it so that there's somewhere that everything fits. And you know, we can, as you can see, we can create big categories, but then smaller subcategories, smaller subforums. So we'll be building it in a way that kind of makes the most sense and is easiest to navigate. I'm just going to go over and just see if there's questions. Okay, so Jan asked, what is the site? So the site is going to be griconnect.community. So that is the, that's what it's in the process of being transferred over to. I just checked before the session started and it hadn't been that yet. But you can also, I'm just going to post the link here. So I'm posting this in the chat. This is where you can go today to sign up. And I think this link is still going to work even after it goes to the proper URL. But I'll post that other one now too. That's a lot active. So this is what should be the long-term permanent version of the website. So yeah, if you have any other questions, just post them there in the chat or the Q&A and I'll check back. Okay, so that is discussions or forums. One other thing to mention is if you scroll down the page, this is where you can see all of the most popular questions or the, you know, I guess they're ranked by how active the conversations or the threads are. So if you want to just see what's new other than what's in your, other than by looking in your newsfeed, you can look here. We have the ability to kind of pin things at the top. So the FAQ is pinned to the top now, so people can find it easily. So that's forums. The next thing I'm going to show you is groups. So groups, like forums, we've divided into those three categories where they can be for all users, they can be for families only, or they can be for researchers and clinicians. So here is a families only groups. These are family only. It looks like they're not all marked, but we'll mark them. But I'll show you when I log in after as a researcher that they're not going to see these. These are not going to show, they're not even going to be able to click on these. They just won't be there for them. But basically what we're doing is building, we have the ability to build a group for every variant. And so we've started with some of the more common ones, you know, a lot of the ones where there's 3 or more patients. I think there's a few more to add, but really we want to do one for every member of the community that wants one. And, you know, even if you have a variant that you don't know anybody else who has it, it's a good idea to start the group here because hopefully this is somewhere where people will go to search. And so recommend that you ask us to start a group for your variant, that you post in it so people know that there's someone there. And that then when somebody new joins, they can come and find your variant and connect with you. And again, I know some people are sort of reluctant about how this information is shared with researchers, but that's why we've built this so that only families have access to it. So just going back, some of the other examples of groups. So we've got groups by, and these, again, we're still in the process of building them out, but groups by language. So far we've started one in French and Polish, just because that's who some of the beta users were. But we can start these for any language. And the idea is that this is a place for researchers, clinicians, and family members together. And by the way, you know, we know that a lot of researchers have a working knowledge, at least of scientific English, no matter where they are in the world, because English has sort of become the language of research. It's not the same with clinicians necessarily. And we would encourage you to invite your doctor to your child's doctor to come and join the forum and to learn more about the disorder that way. We can start kind of groups or areas for physicians only. We're also planning to put together a resource either here or on the CureGRIN website where families can see from around the world, or families anywhere in the world can kind of go and look at researchers in their areas. And then there's also family groups by region. So we started these with some countries where we've had some members that were in the beta trial. But if your country's not here, we can add it. Just a good place to connect. And potentially we could even go more regional. And if there were people that wanted them just for a particular state or province or something like that, we could potentially do that too. But we're starting here just with just by country. So that's groups, and we'll keep adding to those as time goes on. So then the next tab that you'll see at the top is the gallery. So the file gallery allows us to upload content or photos. So the only thing that we've updated so far is the GRIN research roadmap, the CureGRIN research roadmap. We also have ability to have a video gallery. So we've started uploading, actually my son Connor has done a lot of this. He started uploading videos from past conferences, the videos from today's conference we're going to put in here. And then we're also creating categories in different languages where versions of different videos with subtitles will be posted. So people anywhere can access that. So one thing I wanted to mention actually when I'm talking about languages is that the whole site we've kind of built with the idea of, we really want it to be something, because CureGRIN is an international organization, because GRI disorder doesn't respond to boundaries. We really want it to be something that anyone can use, just no matter their language. So we're asking people to post anywhere in the forums, anywhere on the site in whatever language they're most comfortable with. And then, if you see something that you don't understand, to use kind of a built-in translator to be able to see that. So I'll show you what that can look like in a minute. On the member section, you can log in and see a member directory. And so what we've done when you log in, or when you create your profile, when you log into the site for the first time, it'll ask you if you're a family member or a researcher. And then if you're a family member, it'll ask your child's gene. So it's not always easy to see, but if you hover over it, or if you tap and hold on it on the phone, you can see each person's variant. Amy Murphy there also has a star. So the 3 most active of the beta users in August got these most active stars, and we'll be doing that kind of regularly, updating that. Amy Ramsey, you can see that she's got one that is a researcher. Just see if I can find one for a clinician. There was one that I approved yesterday, but I don't. Anyway, there's another researcher there. You can see that Denise, she's GRIN 1, but then she's also got an admin tab or a community manager tab. So we also are recruiting community managers who can help us moderate the forums, welcome new members, those kinds of things. So if you'd like to volunteer for that, we'd love to hear from you. So far, we really launched the beta as something that focuses more, we launched the beta for families. Oh, here's what I was looking for before. So Jennifer Bain is a physician. So she has the physician or clinician icon there, and also a researcher. So she's at Columbia and does a lot of rare genetic disease research. So the one other thing, I mentioned languages. So I wanted to show you something with that as well. Let's see, I think maybe Marita is an example. Maybe Marita's posted in. Okay, so here Marita's posted herself in both English and in Norwegian, I think. And so but you could have just posted it in Norwegian. And then because I have Chrome and I'm have the Chrome Google Translate plugin, if I just highlight that, and actually I should be able to see. Yeah, so if I highlight that and then click on this plugin for Google Translate, it'll sort of pop up with the automatic translation of what she said. So it's really pretty easy to do. It's not as easy as it is in Facebook where it gets done automatically, but we're sort of, really, again, want to make this international. So we want to make it easy for people for whom English isn't their first language. So that is members. The other thing that you can do is you see someone that you can invite them to be your friend. So Amy Ramsey, I've just invited her to, actually I've invited her, Laura's invited her to be your friend. So yeah, you can invite people to be your friend. You can see these stars. Well, actually this here where you see two little people in the upper right. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but two people in the upper right-hand corner of each name. That is how many friends you have, how many friends you've connected to on here. And then the points is just how active you've been in the forums. So that's basically what we base these badges on. So I think that's everything to do with that. Yeah, and then actually you can add a filter here as well. So if you're looking to see just certain, like let's say you're a GRIN 2B family and you only want to see a list of other GRIN 2B families, or you only want to be friends with them, you could just pick GRIN 2B and apply. And then it's going to show all of the GRIN 2B families who are registered. There's also an organizations tab. So far we've only built out one for CureGRIN, but we have the ability to build out this tab for other rare disease organizations. We could build them out for labs or companies. I think we just have to think about how we want to do it, but there's the capacity for building out information on different groups related to GRI. I'll show you events. So we're building 3 different tabs here. One is something that is open to everybody. And I think most of what we post, most of the events we post is going to be here. But you can see here there's today's conference, and then here's 2 other events. You can click here, you can like or confirm that you're going. But one of the things that I like too about this is that, if you open up the event, you can see the information. But you can also just add it to your calendar. So click on this calendar button. And if you use Google Calendar, you can just click Google Calendar to get it added, or if you use Outlook, click Outlook. So that, because I know there's always so much going on. We have such busy lives that if there's an easy way to add something to your calendar as soon as you see it, then you're probably more likely to go. This final link just takes us to the CureGRIN website. Let me show you, before I go over and show you the researcher view and how it's different. So for anyone that you see there, you can go and look at their profile. So here's Laura's profile. So she's already uploaded a photo and panel. We really encourage you when you first join to upload a profile photo. The site is just going to work so much better if we can see each other. So encourage you to do that. But then also to add information about yourself. So this, where it says family connection, family member, or GRI connection family member, that's going to automatically get populated. But then you have the ability to choose the country that you're from, to add more information about yourself, and so on. Yeah, you can. There's contact information you can put in there, whatever you're comfortable with, just knowing that every other community member can see it. So Laura's added her Twitter, it looks like. So yeah, so go in and fill that out so that you can find other like-minded people that you want to connect with and learn from. So yeah, I think I've covered everything. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stop. Actually, I'll go over and see if there's any other questions in the chat. So no. Okay, so what I'm going to do is stop sharing this for now. And then I'm going to log in as a researcher, and I'll share it again in a minute. So if anybody has any questions, just leave them there in the chat or in the Q&A, which is the right tab there where the chat is. Yeah, okay. So now I've logged out and I'm going and logged back in as a researcher. So I'm going to show what that looks like. So, I mean, for the most part, so this is someone, demo researcher we've built. This is, for the most part, it looks the same. But there's going to be different things that show up. So, for example, in the forums, if you're a researcher and you get in here, you're still going to see everything that all members see, so about GRI Connect. But then you can see that there are these other areas that are only for researchers and clinicians. So what we're calling these professional chats. And so some of the ones we've set up so far are collaboration opportunities. So researchers can connect with each other on potential projects that they want to work together on. They can share and discuss information on the GRI phenotype, on electrophysiology, on preclinical models. And really, we've just started here. There's tons more. So if you're a researcher or a clinician, we'd love to just hear what else you want us to add there. So yeah, and then there's also a professional chat by gene. So with families, we built this up for each individual gene. Here we've built it by family of gene because researchers tend to focus more on, all of the GRINs, not necessarily, but tend to be interested in all of the GRINs rather than just GRIN 2, where families might be a little different. And then you can see some of the exact same all members groups that we saw before. So yeah, so, and then in their dashboard, anything that's posted in a family group is not going to show up here for a researcher. They won't be able to see it. Otherwise, it's going to pretty much be, the same experience. We've just really built it, built gates in it so that families have the ability to be as open as they choose in the family areas, and researchers and clinicians have the ability to be as open as they choose in the other areas. So that's what I wanted to show. Any questions? Can I ask a question then? What would you like to see? What kind of categories or forums or groups would you like to see that we haven't, that you didn't see there? And this is, for both families or researchers. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, then everybody can kind of get ready for, to take a few minutes. We can finish a couple minutes early. And I guess in 8 minutes, the Ask Me Anything panel, I hope I've got that right, is starting. So this is, a place where we've got 3 great researchers, one of whom is also a clinician and can answer questions, hopefully, or can try to, about anything that you've heard today, or any other questions that you have. Megan Collins, our research coordinator, is going to be hosting that session. So as soon as that opens, you can go over there and just enter your questions in the chat or the Q&A. And just a reminder that that's going to be back on the main stage. So that is not a breakout session like this one is. But I want to thank everyone for joining. I really hope that you all join GRI Connect, make the most of it. We want it to be a place where you'll want to go and check every day. Facebook is great for connecting with other families, but there's a couple areas where this will be better. We know a lot of researchers and clinicians are reluctant to use Facebook for this kind of work collaboration. And we also know that the Facebook groups that have been built so far are all kind of segmented by gene. So this is a place where we're bringing everybody together, not just the GRINs, but the other GRIs too. And then finally, one of the downsides of Facebook and why we think this will be better is that is that this is something that is in the hands of families, that what we are running. It's our own, it's your own. And with Facebook, we don't really know what's going to happen. Facebook could choose to shut the group down for any reason or remove content or whatever. This is something that is run by families, and really we're making it available for all researchers. So I hope we see you there soon. And thanks for joining. I'm going to end the session now.